everyone, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Today's reading is called I Love You Because. It's a reading about anybody you want it to be about, but how they perceive you, which I know isn't everything, but just a bit of fun, I suppose, and something that I'm looking at today. I suppose it could be platonic, it could be just maybe somebody you've lost, or it could be a love relationship. Totally up to you. I will try and keep a little bit more wider so that you can fit it, hopefully, without it seeming a bit strange. You have got three choices. You have got a playful kitten with his bottom in the air. You've got mummy cat, and you have got, I don't know what he's doing. He looks like he's scooping wool. So you've got playful kitten, mummy cat, and scoopy wool kitten. If you want to take your choice, then we'll get going. Okay, pile number one. I'm just going to start off talking with what I can see at the moment, then I'll pull more cards out and sort of peel myself down this pack. There's a feeling here that this person loves you because there's a sense of ease about yourself. There's something to do with a feeling of playfulness, of openness, of being able to converse easily, to chat, and there's a sense of fairness here because you've got Mercury and Justice, which make me think of air signs, so that ability to be able to exchange information and it to be fun. You know, some people you sit with and you can talk with really easy. Other people you're butting in at different times. It just feels difficult. This feels like a flow, but with the Mercury and Sagittarius, there's a playful air about it. There's a feeling here that you both sort of kick off each other and you both got a twinkle in your eye. The Nine of Cups and the Four of Wands, to me, with regards to how they see you, why they love you, that's a strong word, I know, but why there is good feelings towards you, put it like that for the moment, is that you seem to have a stability about your personality. These two air cards dwell well together. They sit well together. There's a sense of comfort inside yourself. The Nine of Cups and the Four of Wands makes me think that you're happy in yourself. And people just sense that, don't they? You know, people just give off that aura when they're happy with themselves. And you can normally tell the people that go for those type of people that aren't really happy, and it feels like they're having something taken away from them. And I'm saying that because my mum was talking about it today. She was talking about a circumstance that she was in. Now, the Three of Swords here makes me think that this person may recognise in you that ability to stand up and to stabilise yourself after something's fallen to pieces. So to me, at the moment, with regards to how you come across, there's an ability to converse easily. There's an ability to spark off something inside each other. There's an ability to have a playful air when you're communicating. And you also have stability and give off the idea or the perception that you're quite tough, even though you're playful, even though you're probably quite, I'm guessing quite amusing with Mercury and Libra here. There's a sense of being able to relate, but there's also with the Sagittarius there, an ability to relate in a very easy way. Nobody relates like Sagittarius. There's no barriers with Sagittarius when they're relating. But the Three of Swords, I wonder whether people or this person senses that you are good at getting up after a fight. Right, next ones. Let's use the same ones. Once again, it's a similar feeling here. There's a feeling here of you being able to start off fresh when everything's fallen to pieces. So there's got something to do with having an inner confidence with regardless of what's happening around you. It's just that sort of, you know, you get two different kids and, you know, like my daughter, sorry, I keep talking about myself, but it is the only way I can relate. I don't want to read books anymore because I've read so many books. I just want to relate to experiences, whether they're happening now or the past. With the Fool there, my daughter was always the one that entered new situations without looking back. It was like very brave for a very young kid. There's a feeling here with the Fool and this Three of Swords here that you're somebody who is not afraid. You're not timid. There's something, life can throw anything at you. This is the appearance you probably come across, or how you come across. Life can throw anything at you, and there's an inner, the Knight of Cups there, it's like a soft fierceness. Like somebody who doesn't go after it, but who can stand up for themselves if need be. And the Two of Pentacles here. Two of Pentacles. With the cards we've read here and these cards here, the Two of Pentacles to me would probably mean that you can switch between personalities, because there's a softness, there's an ease, there's a playfulness about you, but there's also an inner toughness here. So I wonder whether you can easily switch between two. But the fact that these two cards at the top, which are more important to me, are both in air signs, makes me think that you're at ease with doing that, rather than somebody who switches and think, what on earth happened there? It's basically the whole package comes complete. You know, people know what they're getting when they see you. So you're coming across as very grounded. This pile here feels to me very grounded, very much in control of themselves, very much like stability. Almost, if excuse me, this may not be true, but there may be a stable background or stable parenting there. If it's not true, you may have just worked on yourself really well. And you can give quite easily emotionally. There's something here that makes me feel that you don't hold back your emotions, but they're quite measured. You're not over the top. You're just right. Isn't that a fairy tale or something? Yeah. Goldilocks and Three Bears. Not too hot, not too cold. Just nice. And that's Borat. That you don't need Borat in the middle of this. Right. Let's keep going. Okay, I don't think you're with this person. There's a strong feeling that whoever you're asking about, you're not with them. It's not somebody you're very close to and spend a lot of time with. It may be somebody you feel you're close to, but there feels like, because you've got the Four of Swords, this gives me strange. I'm wondering if this person's actually not with you anymore, as in physically in this world, not with you anymore. Just a thought there. You've got here, there could just be something that the relationship's gone quiet. With the Five of Wands here, there's different scenarios here. They see you as, I guess, lots of people in between you. They see you as resting or quiet. There may be something quiet. You may be quite introverted, but once again, if you are quite introverted, there's a feeling here with the Five of Wands that you are very good at sticking up for yourself. And once again, this is for the physical bit here, how you come across physically. And all I'm getting is more of your internal qualities, more of there's that strength, strength and reserve, I was going to say then. There's something, a feeling here that you're very altogether well balanced and tough when you're pushed into a corner. You're not one of those people that go looking for a fight, but there's something about you as if you've learned how to handle people very well. People don't push you around. Let me do some different cards for that. Because to me, I'm just getting the same message again and again and again. And I was looking for a little bit more there, to be honest. Okay, let me just look at these ones first. You may be very sort of slight. You maybe have one of those, because you've got the Mercury here and the Justice card, which I'm thinking is Libra. You may be one of those people that have very small faces, small features, quite delicate, small hands and small feet, and be on the slimmer side possibly. But Sagittarius tend to make people taller. Yeah. Why am I thinking of that girl? Faulty Towers? I don't need to be doing that. Sagittarius tend to make people tall. They tend to have very good bottoms and legs, quite sturdy bottoms and legs. who's a mixture of air and Sagittarius? Don't know, I can't think off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, maybe. I mean, she's not tall at all, but she's slim build, isn't she? And she's got legs and a bottom. Imagine having legs and a bottom and being slim. Oh, I don't mean like that. I mean just having 2 legs and a bottom. Oh, shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, what I'm thinking of with regards to how they see you physically, I'm getting a feeling here of somebody who's slim and sturdy at the same time. There's a lightness with Libra and Mercury and Sagittarius. There's a lightness in the way that you probably move. There's a lightness in the way that you interact. Probably the way that your mind works is possibly very personable, very easygoing, very laid back. Somebody who just wants life to be good. But there's not too much air can make people a little bit on the outside of life. You know, they can do a lot of thinking, don't get involved. But with the Sagittarius there, you're probably the first person to go up and talk to somebody. You're probably the first person to forgive somebody as well. And Sagittarius, don't hold on to grudges too long. If it's just like a lot of Sagittarius in there. There's definitely a very, I mean, this little kitten as well, a very playful air about you. Right, I'm going to do a couple more on that anyway. I just keep getting the same message. I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for something more, but I just keep getting an inner strength all the way through this, an ability to get started after everything's fallen to pieces. So the person you're asking about, whether this person is with you now, whether this person is somebody you're attracted to, or whether it's a friend, there's a feeling here this person may have possibly seen you go through a circumstance or some circumstances where you have shown guts. And there's a lady up from where I work who is, I guess she's nearly 90. I honestly do think she's nearly 90. And I've said this before in readings. And she comes in, well, I'm not going to tell you what she does. It might be personal. But I often see her very, very small, very frail. And I know that she travels around the world. She goes off last time I was talking to her, she'd been to Cambodia. She goes to South America on her own. And I see her hanging off the side of her garden, which is like steep fall into the road, with a, you know, one of those sort of fly mode, really heavy fly mode, just whipping it around. The last time I saw her was in when you're driving and it's a really sort of narrow lane and one of us had to reverse. And I'm normally the first to reverse, to be honest, because I don't mind reversing at all. And oh my God, good heavens, it was like Nigel Mansell. She rammed it into reverse within seconds, not like a gentle, like, you know, a push. It was like a ram into reverse. Stuck her hand over the thing next to her, the chair next to her, and just basically 90 miles an hour did it, as if there's nothing slow inside that lady. There's a fierceness and there's a strength there to still have that energy at that age, you know, absolutely superb. And I'm wondering whether this person has seen you go through a circumstance or a situation, or whether there's been some sort of circumstance or situation between the pair of you where you've shown your inner mettle, your inner reserve. Right, let me keep going. Do you know what really makes you special is, I think, your ability to take stock of situations and to see the bigger picture, because you've got the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom, you have got Sagittarius there at the top, and then you have got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a different Ace of Pentacles. It's basically going through a maze into the heart in the centre, which I always think, and the name HULUPPU comes from this story, but I always had a fascination with the Gilgamesh story when I was in school, and just the names were funny, and, you know, the Humbaba, who was like the main sort of demon or whatever in the story, was basically this picture. It was us on Earth rooting our way, blind as, I don't know what, blind moles, through all the different ins and outs until we got to where we need to be. And that was how Humbaba was basically a face full of entrails. Exactly the same sort of story behind it, really. So I'm getting an image here that you take the higher road, you've got a sense of dignity about you, you've got a sense of self-awareness. With the Three of Cups here and this air and this Sagittarius is an ability to relate to people. You've got a really sort of grand composure about you. I can't think of the words, but there's something really beautiful about this pile where I'm trying to think of people who come across like this. And we all come across snippets of different things, don't we? But I'm trying to think of somebody who's got this ability in them. It's an ability to, with the air there, it makes me feel there's an ability to relate, but there's an ability that people possibly, because you may come across a little bit as people pleasing. Don't take this the wrong way, there's more to it. You know, when you want to be friends with people and you want people to feel comfortable, that people can sometimes see this as weakness. You know, some people do actually look for weaknesses in people, but there's here who, it would be a fool who did that with you. It's like that is the way you are, and you can do it quite easy because you know you have this inner reserve of strength that if needed, if when situations go wrong or when people come towards you with, you know, for negative reasons, whatever they are, you know, you're a shocker. You could basically make them stand back. Really good pile here. Mentally, you come across as being very easy with yourself, very, very centered. But I do think all the way through this pile, the strength that you're coming across in this pile makes me think this person has witnessed you going through life events that are difficult. Emotionally, you seem to be still, you know, through, but I'm getting quite a tough pile. There's a feeling here that you still give. There's a feeling here that you don't hang on to negative qualities or negative situations. It's like you've got your mind right in the centre. It's like you just think about what's happening now. And you're just in the moment, and you almost like forget about past, you know, if it doesn't serve you, it's gone out of your head. There's a real feeling here of being very, very centered. So at the moment, to be honest, this feels like a, if it's a love relationship, this to me isn't at the moment speaking of, you know, that attraction that's silly. It speaks to me of somebody you may have known for quite a while who admires your inner qualities, who admires something about you that's more than just your looks. And there's also a possibility that this person may not be with you anymore, because I have, you know, there's a couple of cards here that made me think that there's quiet or distance. I'm going to switch off because it switched itself off. I've been talking a long time. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So why does this person love you? This person loves you for your ease within yourself. They love you because you're very easy to relate to, and you're very relatable with regard to how everybody else is pulled towards you. They love you because you are centered, you're in control of yourself, and you have an inner strength to get up and start again when things go wrong. There's still that ability to give. There's still that ability to start every day fresh when you've been knocked back. There's something about you that's quite mutable. There's something about you that's quite you can play with situations, even though, and this is really difficult, they can recognise something in you, there's an inner strength, but there's not that fixity where you don't. Some people who are strong because they've played the same role all the way through life. They're strong because they've been in the same job all the way through life. So they know the same relationship, they know it in and out. This isn't you. This is a strength that is hard to get hold of because there's an ability to shift through situations. There's ability to shift through situations and be flexible and still gain your composure. This is really nice feelings, your composure in some way. It's not until I start reading that I start thinking how different things move, and that is something that you see people very, very confident, and they've not actually stretched outside their comfort zone very much. You have a different feeling of somebody who's self-assured and easygoing and flexible with it. which is a really, I think it's quite difficult to pull together. Physically, I don't know whether you're together at the moment, and as I've said before, there could be lots of people between you, or you could be in a situation. There's lots of feelings with regard to physically, because I'm looking for how they see you physically. I didn't get anything. I just got this feeling that either this person wasn't with you anymore, whether they are, actually separated. And I said by death, I'm just going to say it always sounds a bit sort of harsh, or whether there's people between you and they can't actually get close to you, so it's that's admiring you from a distance, or you're in a stable situation together, which could be or could have been like a marriage or a work scenario or just like an old friend. And I know that's covering all bases, but that's how I'm interpreting those cards. Yeah, to sum you up though, they love you, or this person loves you because of your ability to, what are the words? It's really gorgeous feeling of somebody who I don't know. I'm trying to say you just have it all sussed. They love you because you're a big person, you've got a big heart and you're intelligent, you're intellectual. You must be to be able to play with ideas and life in this way and come out on top. And to have the heart and to have the brains to do that. And then you've got so many cards that make me think that you relate this. It's not like somebody who's got it all together and shuts himself off. This is somebody that plays in life, includes people, and you're like a gift to people. You make other people feel good because there's the airy qualities there. The Sagittarius, the Three of Cups is an ability to make life fun, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Pentacles with the heart in the middle and the Sagittarius there. That is just somebody who can see the bigger picture, knows how to play life, and does it in a very sort of oh my gosh, a really sort of, you've got so many cards here. I'm trying to stop myself from sounding a bit gushing here, because you've got the Justice card, which has got the little doves. Yeah, they are doves holding the olive branch. You've got the Page of Wands here, which is a different Page of Wands because it's the bird that flies through the night being led by the moon. And you've got cards of being a self-starter and being very good at dealing with people. So to me, it feels almost like feels like you're something else. And I'm going to say it feels like almost otherworldly in some way. Right, okay, I don't know what to say about this pie. It's fantastic. This person loves you because you are special. There's not many people like you around. You're like somebody that people need to hold on to. When they say those, you have those like lines that people say, if you find this person, stay with them. That's what you make them feel like. They want to stay with you because you make life bigger. Because you are bigger. And you don't know it. Okay, I'm going to finish there, pile number 1. Anyway, have a good evening. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. Mummy Cat. There is a very... I'll tell you what you've got at the beginning. You've got Virgo, you've got Saturn, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. Virgo and Saturn may not be in your chart, but there's a feeling here, and it's something that's quite, I don't know if it's quite important to me at the moment, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I didn't pick these cards out so that I could, something that felt familiar to me. They just honestly just came out. But that Virgo and that Saturn feeling, I've been thinking about all week, so it's really weird that they came out. The reason I've been thinking about it all week is that there's something very... I haven't got any earth in me whatsoever, but there's something really beautiful about Saturn and Virgo together. So there may just be an earth feeling. There's just that ability to understand and to See beauty in small things. My mum, when she was young, used to say her best memory was the kids when they were young, which was hers, so I can't imagine that is her best memory, and the washing on the line and the smell of the fresh washing. And when you see people with these qualities in, they just make every little situation absolutely precious. I had a friend that came to stay once, and she was Virgo, and we went down to the beach together. And she lives in the middle of Europe, so there wasn't a beach nearby. I mean, she'd obviously been to the beach, and she just sat down on her haunches and was looking at the stones. And there's just that, that book, is it The God of Small Things? And it's a very famous book, and I can't actually remember what the story is. And to be honest, I can't remember the story was good, but when you read it, it was beautiful. The writing was beautiful. It was like falling into a flower bed. It was just everything just swam out of the pages. This is you. This person loves you because you have the ability. You are like the God of small things. You have an ability to. It's not an ability, it's more like a respect for what's important. It's like somebody who doesn't search for things outside themselves or what's in front of them. It's like somebody that sees beauty in nature and sees beauty in what's right there in front of you. Whatever the situation is, it's like, I can deal with it. Very grounded, very meticulous, very understanding, very solid. There's something about it. Do you know the way that this energy has been fascinating me all week. There's something about Virgo and Saturn when they're actually sat talking. There's a steadiness in the way that they sit. There's a draw towards these people that you wouldn't really expect. There's something in their gaze that's very steady. There's something in the way that they move, and they have a commanding presence that isn't overwhelming. You know, like people are loud. Did you ever see an interview between what's the guy who's in Good Morning Vietnam? I can't remember his name. I'll remember it probably towards the end. He was being interviewed years and years ago on TV, and I think he'd probably been snorting something or other. And he just was high and loud. And I can remember thinking at a young age, gosh, that was a lot. And I quite like a bit of my face sometimes, but this energy is something else. That your energy, the way that you come across this person, why they have fallen in love with you or have been in love with you, I don't know what type of person it is, whether somebody's not with you at the moment, has got something to do with a very magnetic pull and a very gracious energy and an ability to place yourself in life in a way that takes account of what's important. With this energy here, and I was thinking as well as I've been thinking about this today, or all week actually, that it must be so difficult for people who are famous to, when they're young, to actually cope with that as they get older, because this is energy that doesn't reach for that type of thing, and you've got it all when you're young. And I can remember I don't know, it's my cousins or somebody saying that they used to see Jason Orange from Take That in the supermarket because we were from Manchester, and it was always really nice. And I kind of think that must be hard for him. This was before he had his second wind and they got back to Take That set off again. But this has a feeling of contentment, not reaching outside yourself, and appreciation for the things that really matter. The things that really matter. Right, that was a long intro. Let me go on. Let me keep going. Okay, you have what I'm guessing a very solid personality, and you've got an appreciation, as I've said from the beginning, of what makes the world tick and what keeps things moving and what is actually real, rather than what we basically project and think we need. And what, and it's not like a search for money or a search for fame. It's like, I am solid, I'm here. But then mentally you've got cards of, I guess, playfulness here. So there's something about you that feels almost like an earth and a Uranus pile or a fire pile, where there's that ability to be, just feel very magnetic. There's an ability there to be very, nobody can knock you, like a weeble. There's like those like silly dolls you used to get in the set. They weren't dolls, they're like eggs, and they used to have weighted bottom and they had faces on them. Like you never knock them down. This is you. But there's this next row has pulled out a very good ability to connect emotionally with people, but also a playful air, and this is quite a strong feeling. So there's something, I'm guessing, quite quirky about you as well. With the Queen of Wands and the Fool there's something about you that you've got that spark, you've got that solid underneath blanket, but you've got a spark that is able to still play with life, because you'd probably see it all as a bit of a game. This to me gives an image of somebody who sits in the garden and looks at the birds, appreciates the fact, oh my God, they're so small, look at them, how can they well so well formed? And then the next second there's somebody around and you're laughing, laughing like deep belly laughs. So this person loves you possibly for these two. Your person maybe that you're thinking about maybe air and fire themselves. So whether they actually project that onto you and they see that in you, I don't know. Let me keep going. Okay, I wonder whether you have much water in your chart, because there's a feeling here that you don't actually give out much emotionally. There's a feeling here of, I'm guessing here, which is really strange, especially with the beginning cards and the second row. There's a feeling here that you're not aware of who you are, and that you often feel quite muddled in yourself with regards to how you come across and with regards to how you express yourself. And I think you almost hold back a little bit emotionally with people. I'm not sure how to interpret this for why they love you for this yet. This is something I feel, if this is part of you, I wonder whether they see you as being quite humble in some way, whether you probably do actually. If there's that Virgo quality there and that Saturn, there must be something quite reserved about you. There must be something that often feels like Virgo and Saturn never feel like they're good enough. They feel that they're not funny enough. They feel that they're not interesting enough. And then you've got these abilities where there's a bit of a spark there. So I think you do a good job they probably see you as doing a good job as relating very well. But it's almost like underneath, they may sense that you don't actually feel that you're all that. It's a case of you're quite humble, or, this type of pile that I can imagine that you're very good at parties, you're very good at communicating, you come across really well, but you may be, like when you're a bit nervous and your mouth twitches, they may catch it occasionally where you look as if you're a little bit less confident than you come across. Because the Five of Pentacles and the Moon cards here with regards to how you function emotionally, and the Page of Wands makes me think that you stumble with regards to your emotions. I don't know whether you're quite reserved or whether you don't express emotions very freely unless you feel very comfortable, and they've sensed that. But the Page of Wands make me think that it's just slightly retracted. They get some, but not enough. You may be one of those people that do hold back. Physically, totally different. You are confusing. Physically, you've got this image of, I think you've got a very good way of standing. There's something here, a very sort of, you walk into a room, people notice, which is very unusual to have with these other cards, because Okay, I'm thinking here Will Smith, to be honest. You know, Will Smith's got a big laugh. He's got, you know, he's got a big body. He stands really straight. But he's like, I'm sure he's like Virgo Libra. There's that sort of, you know, underneath. I wonder whether he's quite. I bet not though. Well, when you see Will Smith being interviewed, I wouldn't say he's humble. I was going to say humble. Then I don't get the impression that he's humble. He can relate very well and doesn't ham himself up to. He's got confidence, he's got a big laugh, but there's something that's very perceptive about him. There's a nice quality about him. But there's still here, you come across physically very strong. No messing. This is a tough pile, a really nice tough pile, a bit like pile number 1 to be honest. Let me go on, let me keep going. Let me do some other cards. What makes you special is your it's very similar to pile number 1. What makes you special is your self-contained and self-content attitude. It's also your ability to move into any situation with what I'm guessing quite a flair, with the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands and strength here. The way that you come across is very confident, I guess, here. But inwardly, there's a strength in, once again, pile number 1, strength in reserve here. There's a strong feeling here, and I can sum this one up quite easily. There's something that this person loves you or has fallen in love with you because they can sense what's the word? A quality. There's quality about you. It's not the right word. Yeah. There's quality about you. There's a feeling of being composed, and there's a feeling of you're almost like a hard nut to crack. That this person is like a mystery. They want, as if they don't know you already, or if they do know you already, they know there's like I can't think of the word. You're like the pearl in the shell. Once they open the shell, that's where the pearl is. That feels like you. This is why they fall in love with you, because you come across as one thing. You come across as everyday fantastic, and as everybody else sees you as everyday fantastic. But the thing that really gets this person is that nobody sees the inside of you. Nobody sees your vulnerability, which is extremely strong in this pile. Nobody sees your worth as much as I'm guessing this person does. So I don't know if this is a love relationship. I don't know if this is somebody, that's died, but there's a sense of loving your softness that not many people see, because you come across as all together, all there, all confident, but there's something very vulnerable, very sweet, and it's like childlike strength. So this person loves you for the show that you put on, but they know that's not you. They know that there's so much more to you, and there is definitely a very strong feeling that they love you because of your vulnerability, which is really strange, because at this pile here, your emotional pile, your emotional vulnerability doesn't fit in with the rest of it. So I don't know whether they've seen you, the type of you know, you could come across, I don't know what job you have, you could have the most fantastic job where you know, telling everybody else what to do all day, or you could be very collected, and then they see you crying at a film, or they see you in your more vulnerable moments, or when somebody's hurt you, or, you know, when you've argued with your parents, that type of thing. And that is why this person finds you attractive, because there's like toughness and vulnerability combined together with an exterior here, I'm guessing, that's quite something else. Right, I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. Okay, it does honestly feel to me, if I could sum this up, it's like Will Smith playing Lion King, as he probably could do really well because he's got that sort of Leo edge about him, but actually panning into him and he's crying. I'm sure there's Will Smith's film, oh my God, In Pursuit of Happiness. Oh Lord, I couldn't watch that. It was traumatic. There's that feeling of somebody, say it was Will Smith actually playing that part and he was Will Smith rather than the actor. It would be in that most vulnerable part in that film that this person has looked at you and fallen in love with you. You know, when you're being the strongest you possibly can be, but there's a little edge about you where they can see the softness inside you. Okay, I'm going to finish there, pile number 2. Thank you very much for joining me today. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile number 3, and there's a feeling here straight away of somebody who is very good in group situations, somebody who's not afraid to take control, somebody, and this is how they see you, why they fall in love with you. You show up really well in life. You look like you're in control of yourself. You look like you can command a situation, but there's also a feeling here that you're very good with details as well. So I'm getting this feeling here that you could be in charge of a group of people, or they could just see you in different situations, like playing team sports but being very intricate with whatever you're doing. Or you could be the type of person who's like an event organizer who basically looks at the details of big situations and does it in a really altogether way. I don't know whether that feels right. If it's not that, it could be the Jupiter and Virgo there and the King of Wands. You could be very good at sorry, somebody's come to the door. Just wait to see if it's answered. The dog is attacking somebody. Of having big ideas and bringing it down to earth. The Jupiter and the Virgo, they're very good at having big concepts or big ideas, of putting on shows or putting on performances and making sure that every detail's covered. So that, you know, it could be anything about about you that they admire there. Possibly the ability to cut big situations into small parts, which could mean be anything, to be honest, couldn't it? Okay, let's keep going, because this isn't telling more about you than why they love you. Oh my gosh, all these piles feel all the same today. Mentally, there's this admiration for something where you feel quite content, like you feel like you've got everything, or you come across as if you don't need anything in life, and that you can play with life in some way. The Three of Swords there makes me think that you possibly, let me put another one on there, handle situations very well. Your ability to get this is like pile number, I feel like I'm repeating myself here. There's an ability to see the good in everybody, I think, here, even when situations are down, to almost, you know, the Sagittarius with that big mind and that big heart, possibly big heart. I don't know so much Sagittarius. I think so. Most of the Sagittarius have got very big hearts. The Three of Swords there with the Ace of Cups makes me think that if somebody slighted you, you're not the type of person that holds on to it forever. The Virgo there possibly could. Virgo sometimes can be a negative side. Now, we've all got positive and negatives. Sometimes with the fire and the Virgo together can I'm going to give the negative scenario, and I'm not saying that you are this or anybody with Virgo and Sagittarius is this. I have seen it, but we're all, you know, mixture of fantastic and not. Can be very particular and often very cutting in and say it. The Sagittarius says what they're thinking, the Virgo sees it and cuts it to pieces and, you know, basically analyses it. So that can be quite hurtful. But with regards to this here, that's almost like there's no such word as nullifying that, because the Three of Swords here is an ability with regards to whatever situation has been thrown at you, you know, whether it's hurt you or whatever. The Ace of Cups here makes me think that you always see the good in everybody, which is a very admirable quality. And I can think of two people in my life, and not all the time though, one of them's not all the time, of two people. One works in Parliament actually. It's a man that works in Parliament who, is it Parliament? I don't know. And his wife always says that, you know, if she's like having a snipe about something, that he would always say, oh, yes, but they're this, and can't you see this? And obviously it makes you love him more. So there's a stableness. There's this person has fallen in love with you because you are possibly a big personality, but without losing touch of reality. There's a stableness inside you, and there's an ability here to play with life and to see the good in everybody. Now I know that sounds a bit sort of bits there. I just need to keep going until I can start pulling it all together. Okay. I don't think you're easily wavered emotionally. I think that you doesn't feel like there's a lot of water in you here. There may be, but you've got the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here. So what do they admire about you emotionally is the fact that you're not over emotional, that you don't over dramatize things, you don't overreact to things, that you're very sort of centered in most situations. But you have got the Seven of Cups at the end here, that I wonder whether, you know, you almost expect to see. I know it's Pisces, but there's a like Pisces Libra feeling here of being quite indecisive at times. And if, you know, Jupiter being quite mutable as well, there might be that sort of, I've decided what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do. Oh, actually, I've changed my mind. You know, that type of feeling. It gives me a feeling here. And if this is why they fall in love with you, they don't actually mind that. But it doesn't feel, although it's a cup card with the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here, almost overshine that to me. It makes me feel that you're not over emotional but more indecisive, can't make decisions very easily, and with that mutable Jupiter, that you could be a bit wishy-washy with regards to what you want to do. It feels like you'd go with the King of Wands and Sagittarius, then you'd go for fun first. And maybe, yeah, if that Virgo's there, you know, you're making decisions with regards to perhaps the fire inside you, or choices that you like to have fun, you like life to be adventure, you like life to be this or that. And the Virgo's possibly wavering up that after the decision. Hold on, have I packed my safety gear? Have I got my plasters in my bag? You know, that type of thing. So there may be some, you know, they might quite admire that. Oftentimes when I'm doing these type of readings, I wonder whether they have these qualities as well, that, you know, they tend to swap, and you tend to admire, you know, bits that you may have inside you that you may be able to dig and delve out yourself or not. But there could be an ability to, devil may care, jump into things, make it exciting, make life fun, but there's still that sort of safety awareness. You know, my sister-in-law, I hope she doesn't watch this, is Sagittarius Virgo, and we were talking about writing children's stories, so we both wrote a children's story. I'm not going to tell you what mine was about, but it wasn't this, and hers was on wearing helmets to do sport. You can't get much Virgo Jupiter than that. It was the importance of putting on your helmet when you're on your bike. So there's a feeling here, this person may admire you because you're a mixture of that, because you actually get up and do stuff, but you're also, there may be something quite sensible about you as well. I know that's not exciting, but that's what I'm getting from that. Okay, the word I'm thinking of is languid. Physically, you come across as the Knight of Cups, the Four of Swords and the Empress. There aren't any more languid cards than that. There's something to do with your smoothness and the way that you walk and the way that you sit, the way that you dress is very, very... I'm trying not to say sexy, unless, because it may not be. Yeah, it's sexy. Actually, no, it's sensual. There's something to do with the Empress, the Knight of Cups and the Four of Swords. There's an ease and there's a comfort in the way that you sit. The last pile was Capricorn Virgo, and I was saying how attractive that feels to Capricorn Virgo because there's something in the way that they sit still and their gaze is straight. And I'm thinking like Sean Connery here. You know, there's something in their eyes and there's normally very slow moving, very steady. And I think you pip them almost. I think you pip them. It's like a watery body. You know, oftentimes like Knight of Cups and the Empress card, this feels to me a woman with hips, you know, a woman who is quite feminine, though it doesn't have to be. You know, I'm thinking of boobs and hips, to be honest, is what I'm thinking. It doesn't have to be, because there's women who don't have boobs and hips who are just the way that... Who am I thinking of that's really sexy, that's quite slim? I don't know, there's just so many people. Sometimes you just can't put your finger on what makes people so attractive. And they don't have to be physically attractive. There's just some people absolutely gorgeous and they mesmerise you. The Knight of Cups, the Four of Swords and the Empress, how you come across physically to this person is physically mesmerising. This person, I bet, can't take their eyes off you. It gives an image or a feeling here of... it's a harem. It feels like somebody dressed in very, you know, somebody who's just, I'm going to say lounging around. I don't know. I can't put it into words, to be honest. But it has a feeling of at home in your body. It has a feeling of smoothness and softness and gentleness. It feels like somebody that almost hovers half an inch off the floor rather than walking. It honestly does. You can't put your picture on it, but I'll give you thoughts to how I've seen people like this. You know, I've seen mainly women, to be honest. Men can do it too. I'm thinking of women at the moment. It can be anything. The way that they cross their legs, or the way that they pull their skirt down. You know, not like that, but you know, the way that they sort of, oh, I don't know. It's very feminine, very... provocative. It's provocative in the way that you don't even know you're probably doing it. Okay, this is an unusual pile number 3, because there's a feeling that this person can't get you off their mind, and it's got something to do with your physicality, the way that you come across. Not physicality, yes, that is a word, isn't it? Because you've got Jupiter, you've got the King of Wands, and this is somebody who normally has quite a strong body, somebody who there's nothing like Jupiter or Sagittarius to own their body. You know, you see Tina Turner dancing, Brad Pitt moving. You see Sammy Davis Jr. on TV the other day. I said, I bet to my husband, he was dancing and he was just laid back and smooth. And I thought, I said, I bet he's Sagittarius. And I looked up, my husband's not interested, and he was. There's just, you are very at home in your body. There's something that is this person has fallen for you or is in love with you because of physical attraction, I think, here. Mentally, I'm guessing the words I'm picking up here are ease with yourself and non-judgmental. Emotionally, I'm guessing not over emotional at all. But there's a mutability there, which with that non-judgmental, I wonder whether that you're very sort of flexible in situations. So you're not, and this maybe been a pile earlier as well, you're not too fixed in your likes and dislikes, which is, you know, always really nice, because we tend to be quite judgy, and people can be quite judgy, and there's a feeling here that you're not, which is lovely. This person admires that quality in you, but physically it blows all the other rows out the water, to be honest. There's a really strange feeling. What makes you special is that you are special. There's something that makes you special, that this person hasn't come across somebody like you before, and it feels as if it's a really, really almost like hypnotic pull towards you. The reason I'm saying that is you've got the Devil card here, what makes you special. You've got the Five of Swords here, which, you know, one always feels like the other one's got the one up. So it feels to me as almost like to get your attention is quite, you know, it's quite competitive to get there. And you've got this physical pile of which was quite languid and sensual, with the Empress there and the Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups. And then you've got these, you know, sort of fiery cards up here. It's got to be something to do with your the way that you move, or your body, that this person has fallen in love with. So I hope this isn't like you haven't chosen this pile, it's somebody like you're asking about your grandma. Okay. Okay, right, I'm going to leave that there, I think, pile number 3. It just feels to me that you move well, look good. You really get this person's goat with regards to the way that what they can see through their eyes is like blissful with regards to it's something to do with, I don't even feel that it's your face, I feel that it's your body. Something to do with your body here, but there's something, you know, probably the bits they pick up as well with regard that aren't your body is your kindness and the way that you forgive people, the way that you can go in and out of situations with groups of people and make people feel at ease. And there's just like an air of movability with regards to your judgments here, which is nice. Okay, at pile number 3, I'm going to finish there. I hope that feels right, because it was a bit of a, you know, a bit of a strong pile for the physical features there, but to be honest, that's what I'm getting. I'm going to finish there, pile 3. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.